Hey there chaps and chapettes, Roddy Jodphurs here. Had a bit of a trying week, I'll be honest with you. It's Tarquin's birthday this week. Happy birthday, old sport. Hope you're ticking along. I have no money. I need to get him something. Traditionally, one does acquire some sort of gift for one's friends on the anniversary of their birth. I cannot afford the custom suit he has asked for. I cannot afford champagne he has asked for. I cannot afford the luncheon that I got him last year, which he said he enjoyed. My poor person friend, Shannon, Selena, Samantha. You know the one, I spoke about her last time. She suggested that I make something for him. I said, well, sweetheart, that's all well and good, but I mean, come on, I can't sew, I can't paint, I can't write music, can't forge banknotes, although if I could, it would certainly solve a lot of my problems. So no, what could I make? And she said, well, why don't you make him a cake, for heaven's sake? I mean, posh people do have birthday cakes, don't they? And I said, of course we have birthday cakes. Might be a slight stretch to construct, a 3-story, beautifully iced champagne truffle cake, like Mama always used to have made for me. But that's not a bad idea. I mean, in practice, it's the thought that counts with these things, isn't it? I understand that's what people say when they have no money. It's the thought that counts. I found a recipe, I bought the ingredients, I followed it through. Nigella Lawson is a lying cow. The thing is, I have nothing against the woman, in theory. I mean, I've met her, for Christ's sake. She was a lovely lady. Had a strange tendency of going to one's fridge, like staring wistfully into it whilst rubbing butter across her face, but everyone has their foibles, everyone has their quirks, no judgment. Something is wrong with the recipe I followed. Nigella, I think you need to evaluate, because shall I show you attempt number 1, shall I? Here's attempt number 1. No, it is cake. It is edible, I think. Happy birthday, Tarkers. Have a shit in a celebrations box. And frankly, the less said about attempt number 2, the better. Number 2 being the operative description here. Because I know when I ask for a cake, what I expect is a mess of poorly glued together buttercream and chocolate with the structural integrity of wet tissue. I don't understand. I bought the ingredients, although I did have to buy the cheaper end of the ingredients, but I'm certain that the good Mr. Asda would not authorize his stores to sell non-dairy imitation lactose bread if it wasn't every bit as good as butter. Admittedly, I did weigh everything out on my new poor people scales, which, now that I look at them, are missing numbers, so that could have been something to do with it. But I weighed them all, I measured them all, and if they're all missing the same numbers, then surely they've all been wrong by the same amount, and therefore there shouldn't be a problem here. I baked it in my new poor people oven, which is also missing numbers. Unless I'm very much mistaken, between 100 and 200 there should be a 150. And between 200 and 280, not 300 as you might suspect, as would make sense. There really shouldn't be additional numbers if there's only 100 to 200. 100, 200, 250, 275, 280. Now, I don't know how that is fine, but 100 to 200 is that as well. That does not make sense. That's not how temperatures work. I know I didn't listen through most of maths at school, but I didn't know ovens had speedometers. That's all I'm saying. Although frankly, if it did want to leave the apartment at 280 miles an hour, I would not be surprised. because Lord knows I do as well. Frankly, I'm not even sure it's a real proper oven, because I remember whenever I went into the kitchen at home, there was an oven that was sort of that wide and had one side for roasting things and one side for, you know, baking things, and then had 8 circular things for heating food. I presume, I didn't really use it myself, but I understand that's what it was for. This one only has the one bit at the bottom where things go in, and the 4 things at the top for heating up, and unless I'm much mistaken, that's not how ovens work. Have I been misled? Have I been spoiled for ovens? Is that even possible? Is that the world we live in, where the people who cook for themselves every day cannot afford the ovens that the people who are cooking for other people every day are using? That makes no sense. I'm very tired. I stayed up late making disgusting cake. I still have to clean up all the mess that was left behind. I have no food because I spent all my money on ingredients for cake. Well, happy birthday, Tarkers. This is better than Whiskers the Fennec Fox, your present from last year. Don't get me wrong, he was a lovely animal, but your father's the head of the Bring Back Fox Hunting campaign. I mean, I could have told you what was going to happen. I wish it hadn't happened. I definitely wish it hadn't happened at the party. There you go. It may be broken, but at least it doesn't have fox blood all over it. If I ever start a bakery, that will be my slogan. There's a Michael interrupting my shot. How dare he?
I'm sorry.
Well, I've just had to do it twice because I didn't turn the microphone on the first time.